I'll start by creating a new web project. It's gonna be running on Glassfish 4. And here I'm gonna create a WebSocket server endpoint. It's gonna be in this package, and the client is gonna be an HTML page. And gonna annotate this as a server endpoint. It's gonna be accessed with the project name / chatroom server endpoint. And the first thing I'm gonna have here is a set of all the chatroom users. So the session is gonna be javax.websocket.session. And I'm gonna have this method that is gonna be called when a new connection is established. So I'm gonna annotate it with the onOpen annotation. And the session essentially represents the connection, and I'm gonna be adding that session to the set of sessions that I'm maintaining here. And I'm gonna have another method that is called when the connection is being closed. So I'm gonna annotate it with the onClose annotation. And here I'm gonna be removing the session from the set. So chatroom users dot remove, and I'm gonna have a method that is called when a new message is received. So I'm gonna annotate it with the onMessage annotation. Now the first message that the user is gonna be sending is gonna be the username, and I'm gonna be storing that username in the session. So initially, when if I try to pick up the username, it's gonna be null. So in that case, I'm gonna be storing it in the session. So I'm gonna do user session dot get user properties. Then I'm gonna put the message, the incoming message, and store it under username. And after I do that, I'm gonna send a confirmation message to the user. So I'm gonna do user session dot get basic remote and send text. I'm gonna send this as JSON data. So I'm gonna have a build JSON data function. For now, let me just define it here, and I'll be coding it later on. So in subsequent messages, I'm gonna have the username stored here, so I can use it. So what I'm gonna do is iterate through all the users that are in that chat room and send them the message that that user sent. So I'm gonna do an iterator for the chat room users, and gonna be sending the username and the message as JSON data. Gonna use the send text method from get basic remote of the session for each one of the users that are in that chat room users. Now going to this function build JSON data. So the message that I'm gonna be sending is gonna be the username that's sending that message, and then colon, and then the message that he's sending, and I'm gonna put it under message. So I'm gonna end up with a JSON object, and I'm gonna instantiate a string writer, and this is gonna contain the generated JSON. So I'm gonna return the string that's contained in that string writer, the string writer dot toString. Now going to the HTML client, this is gonna be the title, and gonna have a text area that's gonna contain the exchanged messages, and a text input field for the user to enter the message, and a send button that when clicked is gonna trigger the JavaScript send message function. And I'm gonna put my JavaScript over here. So here I'm gonna pick up a WebSocket, so localhost 8080, and the project name, so WebSocket project 02, and chat room server endpoint that I annotated over here. And when a message comes in, so on the on message, I'm gonna trigger the process message function, and I'm gonna pick up the data that is in the incoming message and parse it as JSON, so that I'm able to pick up its contents. In this case, the only content is going to be the message, and I'm going to be supplying that message to the text area, to the messages text area. I'm going to be adding it to that. So I do JSON data dot message, since here I sent the message. I still have to code this send message function, so let's go ahead and add it. So I'm gonna be sending the content of this input text. So message text dot value, gonna do WebSocket dot send, and let me clear up the text field after I send the message. Next, let me go ahead and test run this application. Okay, so let's say the username is AAA. And it's not gonna work on this browser, so let's do this. Let me copy this, and I'm gonna open up two Chrome browsers. And say this user is 4A's and this is 4B's. So this guy is connected as this, and this guy is connected as this row. And this guy sends a message, they're both gonna receive it. Same thing if the second guy sends a message.